Yes, miss.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes, miss.
Okay. Respected principal, teachers, and dear students. The COVID pandemic has disrupted our traditional classrooms, especially the teaching and instruction, learning and instruction. And we have witnessed a rapid shift from the schools to a technological platforms. We are embracing new ways of teaching. ICT and online teaching is a need of the present hour. For this class and webinar, let me introduce our resource person, Dr.Reshmi KS. She is assistant professor in physical science at KUCT, Tirumangad. Reshmi teacher who has an 18 years of teaching experience in MG University, is an excellent academician and with high achievement, and she has been rendering selfless services in the field of education as well as to society. She has molded students with her, and she's high. And we are grateful to teacher for accepting our request as a resource person and being a part of us. So, teacher, I welcome onto the screen. Reshmi, teacher. Thank you,
I'm so glad to see my dear friend Rima teacher. I think Swapna teacher is also there. She's my colleague. She was my colleague and dear friend. Sindhu teacher is also my friend. Others, although I don't know personally, I've heard a lot of them from my friends. I welcome all the participants to this session, that is ICT in education. I know you all are familiar with online learning. So let's start from there. I'm sharing the screen. Please see. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Someone please unmute and say.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Then online learning. We know what is online learning. And now we are using it. So, what is online learning? Let us see some features of learning that makes it online. Are you seated in a room along with your teacher for online learning? No, of course. You are staying at your home and your teacher is in her home. But teaching and learning takes place, isn't it? So we can say online learning is a type of distance learning. Why it is called distance learning? Because the teacher and students are physically separated. They are not together. They are physically separated. Then how does learning takes place? It is through internet. Figure you see here shows the online and offline on two pans of a balance. In the figure, it is balanced. That means if used wisely, online and offline are equally good. Now we shall see the difference between online learning and ordinary classroom learning, which you already know. First one is the use of
Students, and there is a small problem. Please wait. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, miss.
It's okay.
Can I proceed?
Yes, teacher. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So I think I explained up to comfort level. Shall I move to the next point, flexibility?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Okay. So flexibility in space and time. You don't have to sit from 10 to 4 as in a classroom. Timing can be your choice. For example, now our class is at 5 p.m. So in a classroom, normally the teacher deliver lectures. But here, in online class, there can be audio, video, or both as study materials or additional materials to supplement the class. It saves time, effort, and money. You don't have to travel, so you can save your time. And of course, money also. Then by sitting at home, no effort. Then, in an ordinary classroom, teaching will be traditional type, that is, mainly lecturing. So, the teachers and students have to put in a lot of effort. Teachers have to manage the class in between the teaching. Then discipline problems will be there. They have to manage that also. Then the students, they have to sit and listen whether they are ready to study or not. So the teacher has to prepare the class, student have to pick up. No self-pacing is there. They have to grasp things at the speed of the teacher's lecture. In the classroom and school, the rules will be strict. You know, in the case of uniform, you have to be in full uniform. Then the punctuality, homework, discipline, all this will be strict in classroom and school. Then the physical presence is compulsory, that is attendance. Then it requires more time and money. So these are the major differences between online and traditional class, and I hope you all know this. I'm just coordinating these ideas which you all know. Now let us see which are the places suitable for online learning or where to learn in online. It can be anywhere, as said before. Online learning can be done in parks. You can sit in your home, in your room, and do online learning. Or you may go to school or library, or you can do online learning even while traveling. But there must be internet facility. That is a must. So you can sit in any place of your choice with internet facility for online learning. Next, we shall see the pace of the class. Pace means speed of the class. It can be self-directed or self-pacing. It means each student can proceed at his own speed. You all know your learning speed is different, isn't it? Some learns very quickly, while some are very slow in learning. In an ordinary classroom, the teacher will teach in an average speed. So both the fast learners and the slow learners have to adjust. Here, no such problem. If you don't understand a particular content in an audio or video, you can rewind and hear till you are satisfied. That is a great advantage of online learning. Online learning then make use of computer, mobile, laptop, etc. Since it is online, it make use of internet or networking technologies. And there will be audio and video in online classes. Now, am I going too fast?
No, teacher. No, teacher.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Now we shall see what all we can do or achieve through online learning. Of course, we can get a professional degree without physically attending. So we can get a degree without going to college. Then, second point is enhance student access to different university programs. It means student need not have to go to other universities. Even I got a degree from University of London last year through online learning, sitting at my home in Trivandrum. Then acquire technical skills. What do you mean by technical skills? Actually, it is the ability or expertise which is required to perform a certain specific job-related task. For example, there is computer skills. Then driving, it requires a particular skill. Then science students may know the skill of handling apparatus or machine. All these skills can be acquired. Then achieve professional growth. In case of teachers, they can go for online or refresher courses or attend webinars, do MOOC courses and so on. But remember, while acquiring technical skills, it cannot be fully acquired through online learning. Next, have you heard of synchronous learning and asynchronous learning? Have you heard? Yes. Okay. Online learning can be synchronous or asynchronous. What do you mean by synchronous learning? Synchronous learning happens in a real time. Synchronous learning means all type of learning in which teachers and students are in the same place at the same time in order for learning to take place. Please note, teachers and students at the same place and the same time. In case of synchronous online learning, we must avoid the same statement at the same place. That means you or your classmates and your teacher, they interact in a specific virtual place. It is not the actual place, it is the virtual place you are meeting. And at that specific time. Now, we are having webinar and we are meeting at a virtual place, isn't it? Students, you all are present here. I am here, your teachers are here. So we all are present in a virtual place. And the time is also specific. The time is 5 p.m. So at 5 p.m. we all meet in a virtual place. This type of teaching learning process can be called as synchronous learning because it is taking place at the same time and same place. Remember, it is not the actual place. It is the virtual place in the case of online learning. As you see in the picture, synchronous online learning can be or examples of synchronous online learning are live webinars, just as now, then instant messaging, that means you can chat, which you can use now, then video conferencing can be there, and virtual classroom. All these are examples of synchronous online learning. Now we shall move on to asynchronous learning. What is asynchronous learning? In an asynchronous learning is a student-centered teaching method. It is widely used in online learning. Here, the learning occurs in different times and spaces particular to each learner. Teacher and learner will not meet at the same time. Examples are emails, blogs, pre-recorded classes, online discussion boards, etc. For example, in the case of recorded class, the teacher may record her class and give it to students. Each student will be watching it according to his or her convenience. Such type of learning is asynchronous. Hope the difference between synchronous and asynchronous learning is clear to you. Next is the advantages. We have discussed it earlier. It increased flexibility in time and location. Then information sharing. A large amount of information can be shared through online. Then online resources are several. Students can access it. Online resources can be audio, video, like that. Then diverse and enriching experience. In a regular class, you will be hearing only the voice of the teacher, the lecturing of the teacher. Instead of that, in online, you'll be getting a lot of audios and videos, video lectures taken by different persons. So it is giving a diverse and enriching experience. Then about access. Students can access at any time, 24 hours, 7 days in a week. Student can access at any time. Then the student learns more. If all the resources are properly utilized, the students will get a better picture of the content to be learned, and they'll learn more. Now we shall see the disadvantages. Although there are so many advantages, there are some disadvantages also. The first one is that the student should be self-motivated. But in the case of small children, it is very difficult to get self-motivated, isn't it? It is one of the reasons why online classes were not a complete success last year. If there is no proper follow-up after online class, student may not get complete benefit from it. Some institutions may not meet the academic standard set forth by private accreditation organizations. That is also another disadvantage. Then, it is not fully recommended for professional courses. For example, in medical courses, virtual surgery lab session alone is not enough, because unexpected or practical difficulties may arise in real situation, and the medical students may not be able to handle it. Similarly, in teaching profession also, we have to handle living beings. The students in front of us are full of emotions, full of life and breath. So less or very little discipline problems are there in online class. But in real class, the condition is entirely different. You may take more time for class management than content transaction. So it is not at all fully recommended for professional courses. I hope that portion is okay for you, is it? Someone please unmute and say, is it okay for you? Shall I move on to the next topic? Okay, Nimi, I am going to the next topic, that is virtual learning. Real image, virtual image. Have you heard of or remember real image and virtual images in your high school physics? There we studied that real images can be caught on a screen, whereas virtual images cannot be caught on a screen, right? Now we shall focus on the term virtual. Have you heard of virtual library or e-library? In an electronic library or e-library, books are present in electronic form, and we can access a particular book on a mouse click. You can go through the book like the image you see on the screen. See, it contains body of a text, and the images will also be there. You can see one image on the top right corner. And this e-book, it is distributed electronically. That is, screen displaying of the text is possible. So it is very similar to a printed book, but not in the real form of a book. ശരിക്കുള്ള ബുക്ക് പോലെ അല്ല ഇരിക്കുന്നത്, ഒരു പ്രിന്റഡ് ബുക്ക് പോലെ അല്ല ഇരിക്കുന്നത്, but you can read it from the screen, computer screen അല്ലെങ്കിൽ mobile screen. You cannot touch or feel it, but you can see it, you can read it. Similarly, there is virtual keyboard. Actual കീബോർഡ് എവിടെയാണ്? ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇൻ ദ ടേബിൾ ടോപ്പ് ആയിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിനോട് അറ്റാച്ച്ഡ് ആയിരിക്കും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മൊബൈലിൽ കാണും. ബട്ട് ദ വെർച്വൽ കീബോർഡ് വിൽ ബി ഡിസ്പ്ലേഡ് ഓൺ ദ സ്ക്രീൻ. Then there is virtual tour, virtual shopping, etc. All these give the feeling of a real one. So, what is virtual? Not physically existing as such, but made by software to appear to do so. This is the dictionary meaning. It means having the effect of we feel that something is present, but they'll not be really present in the actual form. Okay, it only gives us a feeling that something is present. ശരിക്കും ഒരു സാധനമുള്ള അതേ ഫീലിംഗ് നമുക്ക് തരും, but it will not give the, we are not able to touch or feel it. ആക്ച്വൽ ഫോമിൽ അല്ല പ്രസന്റ്, നമുക്ക് ആ ആക്ച്വൽ ഫോമിൽ അവിടെ ഉണ്ടെന്നുള്ള ഒരു ഫീലിംഗ് തരും. നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു ഫിലിം ഇറങ്ങിയിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, പ്രേതം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു ഫിലിം, കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ എന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. ആ ഫിലിമില് പേളിമാണിയായിരുന്നു ക്യാരക്ടറായിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ പേളിമാണിയായിരുന്നു പ്രേതമായിട്ട് വന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ഒരു മെയിൽ ക്യാരക്ടർ, പേര് ഞാൻ ഓർക്കുന്നില്ല, ആ മെയിൽ ക്യാരക്ടർ ഫോട്ടോ എടുത്തപ്പോ ഈ പേളിമാണിയുടെ ഫോട്ടോ ക്യാമറയിൽ പതിഞ്ഞില്ല. അതിന് റീസൺ പറഞ്ഞത് പേളിമാണി ഗോസ്റ്റ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. ഗോസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വെർച്വൽ ആണ്, ആക്ച്വൽ അല്ല. സോ ഇറ്റ് കനോട്ട് ബി കോട്ട് ഓൺ എ സ്ക്രീൻ. I hope you understand the meaning of the word virtual. നമ്മൾ സാധാരണഗതി നമ്മൾ നിൽക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ it can be caught on a screen, പക്ഷെ ഒരു പ്രേതം, because it is not real, it is virtual. അതുകൊണ്ട് അതിനെ screen capturing is not possible. Next, virtual learning. It is having all the features of online learning. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഞാൻ റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. I am not repeating all the points because a virtual learning is a broader term. And the only difference with online learning is that online learning is a part of virtual learning. Okay. That means virtual learning can be online or offline. When virtual learning becomes online, we call it online learning, which we just discussed. So, online learning is an element of virtual learning. I have told you that virtual learning can happen in online and offline. Offline or example of the virtual lab, college cloud edition. It is an offline. And there are medical colleges provided with virtual labs. And there virtual dissection takes place. And then we can call it as offline. So remember, virtual learning can take place online and offline. But online learning must be online itself. That means there must be internet itself. And internet is a must in online learning. But virtual learning can be online as well as offline. Next, we move on to virtual labs. Virtual labs is a project. It is initiated by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. It's under the National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. Okay. Then virtual lab is a playground for experimentation. That means it is an on-screen interactive environment. What do you mean by interactive environment? The student has to interact with the things seen on the screen. The screen in a display it is not interactive. The student has to interact. The student has to manipulate on the things seen on the screen. Then only it becomes interactive. So, virtual lab is an on-screen interactive environment. And it is for creating and conducting simulated experiments. It helps to test the ideas and observe the result. You can see some of the screenshots of the virtual labs here. Then virtual labs are simulated learning environments, as I told you. Then these allow students to do lab experiments online. So online doing of lab experiments is possible with the help of virtual labs. So the student can explore the concepts and theories without stepping into a physical science lab. Usually all the science subjects are studied by doing experiments in the lab. But with the help of virtual lab, the student need not have to go to any physical science lab. They can sit in their homes and do the experiments online. They can interact with the laboratory materials and apparatus seen on the screen with the help of a mouse click, and they can do the experiments. So they are free to sit at their homes. See children, here you can see some animations on the screen. Through these type of animations, students can explore life science. Biology la cell okeyana കാണുന്നത്. You can see all the things at molecular level, and see the machine. You can see the inner part of the machine also. So virtual lab software creates opportunities for alternative access to science education. That means usually science education is done in the classroom as well as in the lab. So this lab is totally replaced by virtual labs. And these virtual labs are functioning with the help of virtual lab software. The main advantage of this is that those students living in very remote places can access it. They don't have to come to college or school, but they can access it from their place. Then, a virtual lab is one where the student interacts with an experiment or activity which is intrinsically remote from the student or which has no immediate physical reality. Please look at the screen. You can see two pictures, isn't it? Two figures you can see. The first figure is computer controlled experiment, because one lady is sitting there, one computer is there, then one microscope is also there, and she is controlling the microscope with the help of the computer. Microscope is also in her vicinity, computer is also in her vicinity. ആ ലേഡിക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്, കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറും മൈക്രോസ്കോപ്പും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ട്. കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ഉപയോഗിച്ച് ആ ലേഡി മൈക്രോസ്കോപ്പിനെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുകയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. And see figure 2, it is a remote controlled experiment. That means lady computer ഒരു സൈഡിൽ, ഗ്ലോബിന്റെ ഒരു സൈഡിലും, and the microscope is on another part of the globe. That means there is distance between the computer and the microscope. They are physically separated. That lady cannot see the microscope in reality. ശരിക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. ആ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറിന്റെ വർക്കിംഗ് സ്ക്രീനിലേ കാണാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. And that is an example for virtual laboratory. I hope you understand. Did you understand what I said just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a virtual laboratory is one where the student interacts with an experiment or activity which is intrinsically remote from the student. It should not be near to the student, or which has no immediate physical reality. പണ്ട് സ്വപ്ന മിസ് പറയുമായിരുന്നു മിസ്സിന്റെ കുട്ടിക്ക് റിമോട്ട് കാർ വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുത്ത കാര്യം. അപ്പൊ മിസ്സിന്റെ മോന് റിമോട്ട് കാറിൽ കളിക്കുമ്പോ മോനൊരു റൂമിലുണ്ട്, മോന്റെ കയ്യില് റിമോട്ട് ഉണ്ട്, ടോയ് കാർ അവിടെ ഇരിപ്പുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഈ ടോയ് കാർ റിമോട്ട്, മോന്റെ കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്ന റിമോട്ട് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് മോൻ ടോയ് കാറിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് ടോയ് കാർ കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്ന റിമോട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് മോൻ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. And it is not an example of this virtual laboratory. കാരണം രണ്ടും മോന് കണ്ടോണ്ടിരിക്കാം. നമ്മുടെ വെർച്വൽ ലാബ് ആവണമെങ്കിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ്? That thing, that experiment or activity should be remote from the student. ഒരു physical reality പാടില്ല. Okay, the virtual laboratory do not or must not have physical reality behind it. അങ്ങനെയാകുമ്പോൾ മാത്രമേ അത് it becomes a virtual laboratory. And now we shall see the aims of this project, virtual lab project. In the aims എന്തൊക്കെയാന്ന് നോക്കാം. First one is accessibility. That means to provide remote access to laboratories. It can be used from anywhere and at any time. ഏത് സമയത്ത് വേണമെങ്കിലും എപ്പോ വേണമെങ്കിലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. രാവിലെ രാത്രി എന്നില്ല, 24 hours available ആണ്, എല്ലാ സമയത്തും അവൈലബിൾ ആണ്. അപ്പൊ അതാണ് വൺ ഓഫ് ദ മെയിൻ പ്രോജക്ട്സ് ഓഫ് ദിസ് വെർച്വൽ ലാബ്. കാരണം ഒരുപാട് കുട്ടികൾ പല റിമോട്ട് ഏരിയാസിലും താമസിക്കുന്നവരുണ്ട്, അവർക്ക് സ്കൂളിൽ എത്താനുള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ട്. അത് കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു പ്രോജക്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തത്. Then we shall see the disciplines. ഏതൊക്കെ സബ്ജക്റ്റിലാണ് വെർച്വൽ ലാബ് ആപ്ലിക്കബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത്? നമുക്കറിയാം, യൂഷ്വലി സയൻസ് സബ്ജക്ട്സ് ആർ ഹാവിംഗ് ലാബ്സ്. ഇവിടെ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ the project is meant for various disciplines of science and engineering. സയൻസും എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗുകാർക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് ഈ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഏത് ഏജ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഓഫ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണ്? ഫ്രം അണ്ടർ ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ടു റിസർച്ച്. അണ്ടർ ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് മുതൽ റിസർച്ച് വരെയുള്ള സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനാണ് ഇത് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. തീരെ കൊച്ചു കുട്ടികൾക്കല്ല ഈ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. ബട്ട് ഫോർ സ്മോൾ ചിൽഡ്രൻ ഓൾസോ there are labs. Then students can avail various tools for learning. Video lectures can be there, animated demonstration can be there, additional web sources. Then there is provision for self-evaluation. It's like developing a complete LMS. സെൽഫ് ഇവാലുവേഷൻ ഒക്കെ ഗൂഗിൾ ഫോംസ് വഴിയൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അതിന്റെ റിസൾട്ട് കൊടുക്കാനുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷനും കൂടെ അവിടെ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട് ഈ വെർച്വൽ ലാബ് പ്രോജക്റ്റിൽ. Then costly equipments and resources are shared. The costly equipments and resources എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ it will be usually confined to certain institutions alone. And it will be available only to limited number of users. It can be due to constraints on time and geographical distances. പക്ഷേ while we are using virtual labs, it is available to all irrespective of time and geographical distances. Then it helps in learning basic and advanced concepts through remote experimentation. എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് വഴി കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്സും ഒക്കെ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. Now we shall see the different kinds of virtual labs. Mainly there are 3 kinds of virtual labs. Remote triggered labs, then measurement based labs, and simulation or modeling based labs. Remote triggered labs എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ the student can access and conduct the experiments over the internet from remote locations. ആ പേര് പോലെ തന്നെ റിമോട്ട് ലൊക്കേഷൻസിൽ നിന്ന് ലാബ് ആക്സസ് ചെയ്ത് if the student is able to conduct the experiment, it is called remote triggered labs. Next is measurement based labs. ഇത് മെഷർമെന്റ്സിന്റെ കാര്യത്തിന് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നതാണ് measurement based labs. Next is simulation അല്ലെങ്കിൽ modeling based labs. It's a simulation based engineering tool for designing green buildings and parks. Useful in teaching chemical reaction engineering. ഇതൊരു ഈ ഒരു സെറ്റിന്റെ അകത്ത് there will be a virtual model kit. Then interactive demonstrations will be there. Then experiments are also present. Then sample data sheet will also be provided. ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടെ ചേർന്നാണ് സിമുലേഷൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മോഡലിംഗ് ബേസ്ഡ് ലാബ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഗ്രീൻ ബിൽഡിങ്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നേച്ചർ ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഈ വെർട്ടിക്കൽ ഗാർഡൻ എന്നൊക്കെ കേട്ടിട്ടില്ലേ? അപ്പോ ആ രീതിയിൽ ചെടികളൊക്കെ നട്ടു വളർത്തി മുഴുവൻ എക്കോ ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്ന ബിൽഡിങ്സിനെയാണ് ഗ്രീൻ ബിൽഡിങ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, virtual labs developed by Amrita University Mission are now available free of cost to Indian institutions and students. അവർക്ക് ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഫണ്ടോട് കൂടിയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ എല്ലാ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻസിലെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിനും ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് മെയ്ഡ് അവൈലബിൾ. The O labs, ലാബിന്റെ പേരിന്റെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ ഒരു O കൂടെ ചേർക്കുക. O labs is developed by Amrita. It is funded by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. All this is based on the idea that lab experiments can be taught using the internet more efficiently and less expensive. കൂടുതൽ ഇഫക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് എഫിഷ്യന്റ് ആയിട്ട് ലെസ് എക്സ്പെൻസീവ് ആയിട്ട് കുട്ടികളെ ലാബ് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ്സ് ചെയ്യിക്കാനായിട്ട് OLabs കൊണ്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. OLabs വഴി പറ്റും, provided there is internet facility. The lab can also be made available to students with no access to physical labs or where equipment is not available because of scarcity or cost. ഫിസിക്കൽ ലാബ് ആക്സസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത കുട്ടികൾക്കും എക്യുപ്മെന്റ്സ് ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും പിന്നെ പൈസയുടെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് കാരണം ആ എക്യുപ്മെന്റ്സ് അവരുടെ ഇൻസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുട്ടികളെല്ലാം ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് ഈ OLabs എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. And this helps them to compete with students in better equipped schools and bridges the digital divide and geographical distances. Digital divide എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു one group of students will be having high knowledge in technology and handling of apparatus. അവര് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ലാബിൽ തന്നെ പോയി ചെയ്തു പഠിക്കുന്നവര്. വേറൊരു ഗ്രൂപ്പിന് ആ ഒരു ഫെസിലിറ്റി അവൈലബിൾ അല്ല. അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ ഇവർ തമ്മിൽ നല്ല ഒരു ഡിവിഷൻ കാണും. ആ ഡിവിഷൻ ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്ത് പോകാനായിട്ട് ആ ഡിവിഷൻ മേക്കപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് പോകാനായിട്ട് ഇത് ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യും. ആൻഡ് ചിലപ്പോൾ സിറ്റീസിലുള്ള കുട്ടികൾക്കായിരിക്കും കൂടുതൽ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസ് അവൈലബിൾ, റിമോട്ട് ഏരിയയിലുള്ള കുട്ടികൾക്ക് കാണത്തില്ല. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് സിറ്റീസിലുള്ള കുട്ടികളുടെ അതേ ഫെസിലിറ്റി കൊടുക്കാൻ ഈ വെർച്വൽ ലാബ്സ് വഴി പോസിബിൾ ആണ്. പിന്നെ ടെക്നോളജി ആരെങ്കിലും മുന്നിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, റിമോട്ട് ഏരിയയിലുള്ള കുട്ടികൾ മുന്നിട്ടല്ല നിൽക്കുന്നെങ്കിൽ ഇത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് വഴി കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ നോളജ് അങ്ങനത്തെ ടെക്നോളജിക്കൽ നോളജ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുമല്ലോ, അതുവഴി ഡിജിറ്റൽ ഡിവൈഡ് ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ഓൾസോ ബി ബ്രിഡ്ജ്ഡ്. Then the experiments can be accessed anytime and anywhere, overcoming the constraints on time felt when having access to the physical lab for only a short period. That means in schools, lab will be available only during the class hours or at the most school hours. But virtual labs are accessible at any time. That is a great advantage. Then another example for virtual lab, it is Labster's virtual lab simulation. It is an immersive 3D interactive learning environment, and it allows students to work through, interact with the lab experiment, perform experiments, and learn with theory and quiz the questions. So all these facilities are available in Labster virtual lab. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോക്കി virtual labന് എക്സാമ്പിൾ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്ന് അമൃതയില OLab ഉണ്ട്, അടുത്ത ഒരെണ്ണമാണ് Labster virtual lab. The learning environment may look like a laboratory. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇപ്പോൾ കാണാൻ പറ്റും ഈ Labster സ്ക്രീനിൽ കാണുന്ന Labster, it looking like a laboratory. ചിലപ്പോൾ അത് ലുക്ക് ലൈക്ക് എ ഫോറസ്റ്റ് ഓർ എ ഡെസേർട്ട് പ്ലേസ്. അങ്ങനെ ഏതാണോ ആ സാഹചര്യം അനുസരിച്ച് ആ ലാബിന്റെ സെറ്റപ്പ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലേണിംഗ് എൻവയറൺമെന്റ് വിൽ ബി ചേഞ്ച്ഡ്. ഇനി another one number that is called VLab അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലിറ്റിൽ സയന്റിസ്റ്റ്. ആ പടം കാണുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ അറിയാം, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് മെന്റ് ഫോർ എലിമെന്ററി സ്കൂൾ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ്, കൊച്ചു കുട്ടികൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയുള്ളതാണ്. അത് അവർക്ക് കൊച്ചു കൊച്ചു ആനിമേഷൻസിലുള്ള എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ്സ് ആണ് കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. Another important one is PhET interactive simulations. It is another example of virtual lab. It is developed by University of Colorado. It is the acronym of Physics Education Technology Project. PhET എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫിസിക്സിന്റെ PH എടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്, എഡ്യൂക്കേഷന്റെ E, ടെക്നോളജിയുടെ T, അങ്ങനെയാണ് ഫിസിക്സ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ടെക്നോളജി പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഓഫ് PhET പ്രോജക്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് മെന്റ് ഫോർ ഫിസിക്സ്, കെമിസ്ട്രി, ബയോളജി, മാത്സ് ആൻഡ് എർത്ത് സയൻസ്. അവർക്കുള്ള പ്രോജക്റ്റുകൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന, അവർക്കുള്ള എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ളതാണ് ഈ PhET ലാബ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. സോ ഇതിന്റെ അകത്ത് നമുക്ക് കയറി രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഈ ഫെറ്റില് രജിസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ആ ലാബില് ഡിഫറെന്റ് സബ്ജക്ട്സ് അവിടെ കാണാം. ആ സബ്ജക്ട്സിൽ കയറിയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമുള്ള എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള പ്രൊവിഷൻ ഈ PhET ലാബില് ഉണ്ട്. ഇത് ഫ്രീ ആണ്, എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇത് ഫ്രീ ആണ് കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. Now we are moving on to the last part, the advantages of virtual labs. Mainly 3 advantages are there. First one is accessibility. Second one is training, and the third one is augmentation. So these three are the major advantages: accessibility, training, and augmentation. Virtual labs are accessible to geographically remote students and other impaired students. നമുക്കറിയാം ജോഗ്രഫിക്കലി റിമോട്ട് ഏരിയയിൽ നിന്ന് സ്കൂളിൽ വരാനുള്ള ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് ഡ്യൂ ടു ലാക്ക് ഓഫ് ട്രാൻസ്പോർട്ടേഷൻ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസ്, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഇന്റർനെറ്റ് ഫെസിലിറ്റി അവൈലബിൾ ആണെങ്കിൽ ദേ ക്യാൻ ആക്സസ് വെർച്വൽ ലാബ്സ്. പിന്നെ അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് ഈ ഇമ്പയർഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് do you know the expansion of STEM? STEM, STEM. It is science, S for science, T for technology, E for engineering, and M for mathematics. അതാണ് STEM എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This STEM offers a series of experiments, and the student can interact with each other. Students തമ്മിൽ interact ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും and make use of the virtual song. This will be connected to a hardware, and this hardware will be in a centralized place. So in a centralized place, there will be hardware, and the students can use it from different computers. And the student can interact among themselves and also with the apparatus or materials on the screen. That means on the in the virtual lab. In the area of training, next important advantage is in the area of training. So in the area of training, it is used in advanced personal development and to build confidence. Then virtual labs are used to introduce new instruments and techniques. Then in augmentation, I hope you know about augmented reality. You have heard about augmented reality. Kairali TV laga nammal kannunnaanu augmented reality. Avaraanu ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So in augmentation, it is reliable and reduce hazards and risks. ഈ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം വെച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ virtual labs are very useful. So the three main uses of virtual labs is that accessibility, training, and augmentation. Next is the disadvantage. The biggest disadvantage of virtual lab is that they are removed from the reality of the lab. So the student won't get a real lab experience when they use virtual labs. It discourages or do not promote students from learning the physical instruments and real devices. Only virtual things and virtual objects will be available to the students. They won't get a real chance to or actual chance to manipulate the objects or work with the apparatus available in the lab. Then physical and practical skills expected by doing lab works are not attained. Students cannot attain that particular skill which could be attained only by doing experiments. Everything will be done in a mouse click. No handling of apparatus or no chance of direct experience is there. Then the problem, technical or technological issues, it may arise. In between this webinar itself, there was technological issue, you know. So network issues may arise. Then software problems can also happen. It is very rare, but still it can happen. So it is not in our control. Then information mismanagement can happen. That means no assurance in the information, no assurance in using the information properly and in the correct way. So that is all about this topic. I hope you could follow. Now the session is open for discussion. If you have any doubt, please ask. Anyone? Could you follow the topic?
Dear students, please share your experience.
Excuse me?
Dear students, please share your experience.
Okay, then give me a feedback.
Okay. As a teacher, it was a very valuable session, especially your topic on virtual lab. We feel that you are the ideal person to take this topic as a physical science teacher. So thank you, teacher, for taking this wonderful session. Now I invite my dear students, do you have any doubts regarding this? If you want to interact with teacher, Marita? Hello? Marita? Okay, so we have the next session of this seminar probably by the next week. We are anxiously waiting for that, teacher. And
Okay, I'll try to do it next week itself.
Okay, so let me move to the concluding section. I invite Abilan, this mathematics option, to please give the welcome, thank you valedictory speech.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you for this opportunity. So, respected resource person Dr.Reshmi KS, and respected teachers Deepa Miss, Sindhu Miss, and Swapna Miss, and my dear friends. And so we know that. So apart from the fact that it is this topic is in our part of curriculum, all of you know that the importance of the ICT in education, especially nowadays in the scenario of COVID-19 pandemic. So we all of we know the importance of this class. So I first of all I very thankful to our college and Dr. Deepa Miss and principal to conduct or provide this wonderful class for wonderful class. And I am my duty is to express our gratefulness towards our resource person, Dr. Reshmi Miss. The class was very wonderful class, and well paced, well prepared, and well explained. So, I express my gratitude towards Dr. Reshmi Miss. Thank you, Miss, for giving us such a wonderful class. Thank you, Miss. And also, I use this opportunity to thanking to our college, to our principal, especially our Deepa Miss, to conducting this seminar or webinar for our and also some other important persons are there. Some for helping us to conducting this seminar, like Mr. Davis. Davis was helpful for this preparing our poster, and he's always guided us and helping us. Even today, he's helped to recording this video live section. And finally, I'm thanking you, all of you, to participate this. All of my dear friends to participate lively to this class. And thank you, Miss Thank you.
So thank you, Abilan. Does anyone more have anything to say? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, teacher, let's wind up, teacher. I think it's over time.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me, and convey my regards to your principal, Rosina teacher, then other teachers, and I'm so happy that you all invited me, and I'm happy that the students were also listening to it carefully. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Shall I leave?
Okay, teacher, you can leave.
Okay.
Thank you. So, dear students, we have the next section next week. So stay tuned. Okay, thank you. You can leave the session. Webinar is over.